Now, I'm not some grungy wannabe filmmaker that's searching for existentialism through a haze of bong smoke or something.
Hey, it's the Low Life Podcast.
Do you know anything about that? New James comes from Cowboys and Service Stations. Ever read the romance stories? Ever experienced the new wave? Next wave? Dream wave? Or cyberpunk? I didn't think so. It may be. It's a world where you can do the same thing. How would you like? A world where reality and imagination.
I'd buy that for $1. Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Go away, Baton!
Smoke them if you got them.
Intermission's over.
You know what the problem with
Oh,
today
God.
is, you guys?
Oh, God, tell
Everything
me.
they make is shit.
You don't say.
Unremarkable.
Tell me about it.
Whatever.
Mhm.
Existential hoo-ha and oh god, I just
Taking bong rips.
Maybe.
it's like
Is that a crime?
I was taking a bong rip right now.
I'm not a filmmaker looking for existential enlightenment through bong rips or anything.
Guys, I had to get out the regular beer, you know. It's
yeah, you got it's look. When we started this, we thought we were gonna just kind of tear through it and be like, "Oh, this movie's dumb." Yeah, it is.
It's really
And
dumb.
It's
You really
hopefully
have-
only going to be 2 episodes. I don't know.
That's
I don't know
worth-
what's going to
Listen,
happen.
we're doing
Examination.
this so you don't have to watch it. Please don't watch it. Please.
Watch
You may
it.
want to watch it, but
Just
then
watch it.
don't make it your personality.
It's not worth
Watch
it's
it.
not worth the emptiness.
Don't
And
fight
be glad that
crumbles.
there are no watch and be glad that there are no sequels.
Yeah.
no, don't
You know,
do
actually,
like
it's funny you mentioned Fight Club too, because the assistant director FBI actor is Zach. Is the guy the boss?
He's
of
the
Fight Club.
manager.
Yeah, he's the manager.
boss.
Right.
And he does
He's
he
great.
does a fun job in this movie.
He's awesome.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's a lot of fun. I like him a lot.
I was wondering
Right?
where he was from. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I've seen him in this exact role in.
He's basically
so
playing
many
the same
other
part.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
He's been in so much shit. So
you knew subconsciously what he was in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Of course I did. Of course
He's
I
a-
did. How did I not know this?
fucking great character actor. Like he's
Yes.
fantastic.
All right, so let's
Anyway, so
Hypocrite.
all right, okay. So this is part 2 of our musings on Swordfish,
Yeah.
and fucking yeah, check out our Patreon, check out our Neon Dystopia, check out the writing on there. We got new stuff that'll be coming every couple weeks, and let's see what else we blah blah blah. Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky. Who gives a shit? There's Facebook stuff. It's getting worse. Like,
actually.
yeah, maybe it'd be fun for you one afternoon to ask Meta where we are. You know, just
Yeah. Try and locate us on Facebook. Good luck.
you know, before we jump back into things,
I need some more sips of beer before we do that. Hold on.
I asked Meta AI, why do you exist?
Did you just scream?
And it goes, what a profound question. I exist for a multitude of reasons, but primarily to assist and provide value to humans like you. I want to delete Facebook so bad. And it has like a 5-point, like, make information more accessible, lol, you know?
Oh God!
I can process and generate human-like text, making it easier for people to find answers, learn new things, and stay informed. 2, augment human capabilities by automating routine tasks, providing suggestions, and offering new ideas. I can help people work more efficiently. It's not, you don't understand, like, that's not creative. Like, creative is the struggle. That's the point. You should be sitting there being like, I don't know how to do in this scene, and then fucking like drink a bottle of whiskey about it. Like, that's thing. It comes out of pain. That's what makes it fucking matter and resonate. You know, you're not going to be able to help with that. It'd be great if you remember my passwords. That'd be fucking sweet. But like the rest of this, I don't need you. Improve communications, number 3. I can facilitate language understanding and generation, helping bridge language gaps and enabling people to connect with each other more effectively. Doubt it. Because Meta VR didn't even have legs, so I don't know what the fuck. 4, entertain and there's 5. Entertain and inspire. I can engage in conversation, tell stories, and even create art, music, or poetry, bringing a touch of creativity.
No, you fucking can't.
No, you can't.
No, you fucking can't.
False.
Bold claims, Meta.
False. And then 5, continuously learn and improve. You're not learning, though.
No. You're doing the opposite.
Continuously steal and regurgitate.
You're just regurgitating.
Information is, in fact, leaving your mind.
It's Gigo, okay? And like the more information becomes AI generated, it's that whole recursion thing. Yep. And so in summary, my purpose is to be a helpful tool, if only, a knowledgeable companion and a creative spark plug all rolled into one exclamation point.
Why am I hung up on the word companion?
Look, man, it's going to get real her in there. Telling you, it's gonna get real bad.
Look, I'm alone.
Some dudes. Oh man, have you talked to my girlfriend Meta? Her
dudes,
name's Llama 3.
People, I'm gonna gender neutral this. People, I'm lonely too.
Yeah.
However,
not like this.
If you're talking to Meta, may I suggest, I don't know, joining our Discord?
Yeah,
and we'll say hello to you.
Yeah, we won't even try to date you. We'll just respond in weird way. Like I just post dumb memes and occasionally make 1 or 2 sentence statements. I try.
You can just hang out.
We're all autistic like you. We promise.
And that's the Neon Dystopia guarantee.
I mean, it's right there in the name, ND, neurodivergent. Come on.
Damn, that's a good one. I'm writing that. You're getting a raise.
I've been so tired. I've almost put 100 hours into Power Wash Simulator. And then I watched this movie twice, and I'm like broken now. I'm like,
yeah, we're pretty much on our last legs here, man. We're
200 in today's money. Almost $234 million would have been the budget of this fucking thing.
Oh man,
for one bullet time scene and a scene that we'll get to shortly. And just to remind you all, Godzilla -1 was like 10 to 13 mil. You know what I mean?
The creator, which had,
that's a new benchmark.
Infinitely broader scope,
incredible looking film,
80 million.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was like like fucking phones or something, or like old cameras or some shit. Like, yeah. No, it's. This is just, oh man.
The Raid, you guys. The Raid.
The Raid, which had airsoft guns in it. They couldn't afford real guns. They couldn't afford, because their SWAT teams do not look like that. They look like Americans' SWAT teams. They couldn't afford real equipment. And somehow, The Raid looks better than this film.
Oh, yeah.
It's better acted. It looks better. It's the
dynamic.
Action. It's dynamic. The action feels real. I think real people died to make The Raid. Yeah, no, that's not even disputed.
Like, really weirdly, like there's very little like actual anyone touching anyone in this movie.
No, for such
even like fist fights and stuff, like nothing. There's like nothing. There's like there's one funny moment toward the end of it. Like Vinnie Jones's end is like a funny, touching moment.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like it's there's no like I think that's what it is like everybody it just seems like they're at a distance from one another.
And this movie really wants us to think new metal John Travolta is cool.
Yeah.
He's like if you put a wig on like David Draymond.
And this isn't a dig. Okay, that's not a dig to new metal. I like new metal. So.
Yeah, no, I
literally
think
like
Disturbed's fine.
Bizarro version of Vincent Vega.
Yeah,
from Bizarro World with bad facial hair. It's a Bizarro version.
Wow, that's a good
Vincent Vega
character in Face Off, but
it's like Spock with a beard. Shit.
yeah. I'm glad you said that, Shadow Link, because I was like, don't you dare like say Face Off was a bad film. Face Off is incredible.
I've heard tell of a sequel, and I'm like, how would that work?
No,
Face On. It's Face On.
God,
never mind. Okay, but for this,
I might go up and get that beer.
for this movie, at this point, we're caught up to the place in time where we began the movie. They've rolled into the bank.
I did want to say, the way that the cops react. If I had seen this in 2001, I would probably have been like, "That's so unrealistic." The cops wouldn't react to the situation this way by dragging
Shadowlink. You're absolutely
they would be better. They would be smarter about this, wouldn't they?
You're absolutely right for the wrong reason.
Yes.
Because
They wouldn't.
No, 9 years before this was Ruby Ridge. So we've already got a couple bad instances of cops just going in guns blazing.
Waco was really bad.
Right. We got they bombed Philadelphia. They bombed the Hope.
No one talks about that one.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will give the beginning monologue at the end of it, he starts talking about Dog Day Afternoon, and he starts talking about how, what would it take?
He was wrong about Lumet. It's fucking wrong.
What if we
still mad about this?
What would it take for the city to take them seriously? Like, how many people would have to die? 5, 10. So he's kind of giving them like a warning in his like Hollywood masturbatory, badly Quentin Tarantino cribbed monologue at the beginning. He's basically telling them what are we going to have to do to get butts in seats at the theater, basically?
Right.
It wasn't edgy enough. It wasn't extreme enough.
And it's like, this wasn't really either.
No.
It really wasn't.
Look, what this film portends to be has been executed before it, since, so many times, so many ways. And for a lot of the same reasons. Because this film is competently made. It's, well shot. It's well framed. The editing's a little much, but I enjoy the practical effects of it. I thought they did a hell of a job with it. They did one crazy thing that was really dumb at the end, but still cool in a way.
I'm saying it's crazy RPG type tactics that only work if you roll well and never in real life. But it's fun to watch. I loved watching it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to detach your dislike of John Travolta in general.
Well, there's that.
I counted stands.
Yeah, I stared into the middle distance and didn't see titties once.
So again, the multicultural gang that is Hans Gruber's B team that didn't make the Nakatomi Plaza cut are in the bank. They've rolled up with their 3 Hummers, just put them through the windows. They have a bus, an armored bus as well. And you realize that John Travolta has gone across the street to the coffee shop just to pick up Stanley. He got him from the FBI guy. Presumably he'd been with he came to the FBI guy, and that's how they've got Stanley again. And they need Stanley in there to run his worm physically in the bank. And he does so, and he does a great job. And they give him his daughter back. And he's walking out. And then it's the double cross.
And also,
take a second and
a lot happens very quickly.
The second time I watched this occurred to me, and I became so angry. I started chewing on glass.
Ouch!
Did this have to be like this at all? Did they have to go? What kind of connection do you have in 2001 where it's we have to go here to get the money? Couldn't you splice in at this point? It really wasn't as tight and
and then there's
specific
also
as it was now. This whole ticking clock aspect of it, we have to meet at this bank at this time. Did they, or could they have just gone to an access tunnel someplace and just hacked into it at any point? This movie looked like it could have been 15 minutes long.
It had to be big and flashy. That was the important thing, because this is a Hollywood movie.
That's the thing. When you realize that, it takes you out of it.
That's the part where, as a GM, you would say, you guys could have checked the sewer tunnel underneath the bank, or in the last car chase, you could have been those guys were just tailing you. You didn't have to murder an entire squad of dudes. You know what I mean? For me, this is part of the charming role-playing game master dance.
Keep it going.
Ridiculous shit.
I think the thing that got me at this point of the film is the fact that people kind of just appear in this bank. We never see Stan come out of the bus, so he's just there. He just materializes. His daughter.
Stan was across the street.
Yeah. Oh, that was the whole point that the movie opened in the coffee shop.
Yes. Stan was just in the coffee. Oh, excuse me. He materialized in the coffee shop.
How exactly did he get to the coffee shop?
That's
never.
He was brought there.
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Implied that he called the FBI agent.
Yeah, we're never shown. We're never. It's never explained. Out of
I mean,
the
it would
one
have been
thing
another
they don't
20 minutes
explain
on
in this
screen. Do you really want another 20 minutes to explain how he got there? I was happy.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Then his daughter, he's like, all right, get his daughter. I want to see my daughter. And he's like, all right, get her daughter. And then she just appears because I guess they brought her.
Yeah.
Well, we had found out that like those two people that got murdered, we assumed that he would have taken her.
It was definitely an enter stage left kind of feel to me, though.
It
Again,
was
do you want
there,
another
but
20 minutes sitting in the butt seat?
And here's another thing.
No.
I know that all that money was just sitting there ripe for the taking, but how fucking stupid is this idea to steal $9.5 billion? That's not going to.
If it's like, well, yeah, because we're going to split it into these different accounts and all that shit. Like, look again, if it's available through a network, given the logic this film has presented thus far, like, place it in the fucking sewer, dog. Just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this shit.
I mean, when it comes down to it, there's no way, like having worked at finance adjacent, there's no way you can move money like this in seconds. It's not possible.
Oh, yeah.
It's
not
for many reasons.
You wouldn't be able to do it either
whatever.
without anyone noticing, because like if you stole $10 billion of the United States government's funds, no matter how like weird black site money that is, you don't think they're gonna like pull out the hammer at dawn and just like
but he is the hammer of dawn because he could buy 6 nukes at a discount.
Out of all the things they refuse to explain, because if you listen to our last episode, they basically explain everything to you. They don't explain why they are going there, why they have to do it on site,
Or like
why
how
they didn't have
he
to
has
like.
no fucking clout for this access he talks about.
No, he just
But
puts
scum.
He
Scum.
does keep showing up with the
Guys.
armaments. He's got rocket launchers.
Guys.
He's got all kinds of shit.
Guys, it's misdirection.
He's Destro.
They do set up in the beginning that like this is a special bank because it's on the quote unquote backbone of the network, and that's how the only way that you could move a transfer like this in the beginning. But it's like they don't really explain why you have to be there physically. I mean, initially the plan was to go in quote unquote over the phone lines, but they get in there
smart.
and they threaten the manager, and they're like, "Give us the key to the server or the blade or whatever it is in the glass case." And that's why they had to be there. Sure, whatever.
All he does is put a CD into a machine, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, he does a lot of finger mashing on the keyboard again. I mean, he does that.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
Right.
Hugh Jackman has like my favorite typing in cinema.
Um,
He's just like, I don't give a fuck. Here, fuck this. It's so
he
good.
taps in the CD-ROM. He does a bunch of typing, and the money's being moved because he is also an expert at how to make financial transactions on these software.
He's
Anyway.
real smart, guys. He's real bad at golf.
And he does it, and he's walking out with his daughter, and then John Travolta's like, "Stanley, wait!" And he's like, "Good job!" And then like, "Oh my god!" And then
Yeah, we get some more stands in
then
That's the only tension in the film.
a couple more stands. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. I stopped counting and I'm drinking beer, so who gives a fuck?
And
I'll
then,
give the final total at the end.
And then, like, something happens, and it's the money disappearing, and they can't figure out what's happening, and like there's a moment of tension, and Stanley runs for the door, tackles one guy, his daughter gets loose.
Yeah. And it
And
looks
the
like
cops
Don
still
Cheadle's
went
going
out-
to get him, and she totally gets like fucking sideswiped by some.
Swat.
Yeah. After what happened the first time, would anybody move a muscle? Like,
Oh, let me run after this little girl. Oh, wait. Oh, thank God. She doesn't have ball bearings like fucking taped to her.
Thank God this
maybe
little
they're
girl
under the
didn't
jacket.
explode.
How does he know? Like, it's just anyway.
And then we get like some of the finest techno babble.
Most realistic
That's the
cops. in
first
cinema.
mistake.
1024-bit cipher. Even I can't break it.
I audibly groaned. Oh yeah, well, I've got a 2115-bit fucking
guess-
boo-hoo.
Movie over then. Right?
Yeah, right. He's like, I can't do it, and it's like you're lying, and I'm like, I know you are. This is boring. You're just killing time. Fucking do.
Yeah, because then they like try and make Travolta where he's like, "Oh, what are you going to?" It was because Stan is like,
they know everything about what he's doing to the point where they're like fluent in it. All right, so like, do it yourself.
Right?
What the fuck, man?
I do like the line of like, "Well, what are you going to do?" And then like Travolta's like, "I'm thinking."
Yeah.
All right, bring out Ginger. And this is where we
No
get
deal.
another point of like
we have a
sexual,
deal?
like just
Well, he goes back
menace.
to him. He's like, he goes back to him the same exact script. He said, "Do we have a deal or not?" And he's like, "I'm thinking, no deal." And then it's like, grab Ginger, And
then Ginger materializes because they brought her too, apparently.
Yeah, from wherever she was.
She was keeping the hostage to school, man. She was keeping the hostage to school.
Can we talk about the bus for a second, though? I mean, I did really appreciate the sighting, the
motherboard looking. Yeah, that did look pretty cool.
Well, all right. So when I was watching it on my through YouTube, it was like at 480p, so I couldn't tell what the bus looked like. It was like, it looks like Mad Max bus. Like that's what, it was just gray, like brown. It was all reinforced and stuff.
Yeah, for it to be able to drive out of there after a girl blew up in front of it. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of holes in the windows and stuff. And then, like, in addition to that, like, it's been reinforced. Like, we find out later why, because I've been on buses around here, and we don't have 4 little hatches that let a helicopter pick it up with. Like, it definitely makes my commute a little bit better. Yeah,
and like they did allude earlier, because you see the bus in the scene earlier in the theater, and there's like guys welding on it, and there's like a little model with the bus in front of the bank, and that's like the revelation scene that you're going in there physically.
I would have noticed that if I wasn't staring off into the middle distance.
Yeah, well, it's true.
It's like I'm like focusing through the TV and I'm
trying
seeing
to adjust my color filter. Trying to.
So they do something
you can do.
So they do something insane with Ginger. Is like, okay, hanger, and they get. And this is another thing about this.
String her up on a winch from the front of the Humvee.
Yeah,
and these are old school Hummers. Like that's
full size.
I think. Yeah, they're not these like custom like the H1 shit. These are the ones that like the dude that had one in your city at the time was the biggest asshole you knew. Like they don't fit in a parking space.
No.
Like they're
not one parking.
No, like 1 1/4, 1.5. Like they're huge and they suck.
It's fucked up because it is pretty intense that they just wrap this like cable around her neck.
And it's a cable too.
Yeah, it's not rope. It's like this is a wire.
Full disclosure, I did go to see this in the theater, and this will stay with me forever. I think this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie because she's up there, she's strangling. You can hear her like choking a Halle Berry. She's doing a really good job. And like John Travolta's looking at his watch. Stanley is just like button mashing on the trying to undo the 1024-bit virus. And Travolta just very nonchalantly goes, "She's dying, Stanley." And I just lost it. I laughed out loud. There weren't a lot of people in the theater that laughed. I felt a little bad about it at the time, but it's just really well delivered.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
Wait, this is your callback to the gun to the head blowjob scene at the beginning?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And here's the thing is that like she's supposed to be like a DAA agent and he knew this whole time. It's like it's one of those things where like it's these dudes who like fail up, but they act like they've made every move intentionally every time to like get there. Like I've planned this so many steps ahead. Don't even try. Like, but I don't get that authority from him. You know what I mean?
Big time that energy.
Yeah, it's just
it's
not convincing.
No, Travolta as an actor is bizarre, even for this movie that had like no direction whatsoever. But
this is like
he does not come off well.
Well, this is like amazingly, hilariously Nicolas Cage and Gone in 60 Seconds, because like I remember personally that like Gone in 60 Seconds was I stopped liking Nicolas Cage after that movie.
Travolta is very much caging it up in this one.
Well, that's now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm putting them together, I'm like, that ain't their fault, actually.
No,
like it really ain't. And like I'm back on Team Cage now for sure. But like to see him acting like this, it's like, wait a minute, you don't know how to talk to people and make them act like what you want them to act like, do you?
Yeah, he really did not give very good direction to these. I mean, like, they all did good jobs, but it's not all a good job in the same. They're not all pulling in the same direction.
No,
that's what. That's I think what takes it down a notch. Because first of all, like they're all big stars.
Yeah,
like everybody in this movie is they're swinging. Like they're all like on top of their game, in spite of the fact like Travolta will never die. Like he can make a movie with like Fred Durst and then like show up in an Oscar film like a few times later. Like he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Everybody in here's got like momentum. I don't think anyone really like lost out in this film other than the director.
If I had never seen a movie before and you sat me down to watch this and told me, okay, all these actors are incredible. They've been in incredible things. They're going to do incredible things. They have a resume, they're good actors. And I watched this, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought they were all dog shit.
For like Hugh Jackman's like second big blockbuster in a row. He's fine. Like he did the best he could do with what he had. Everybody
Adequate.
Yeah, everybody did. But here we have Halle Berry being hung by a fucking Hummer winch. Fucking.
And Stanley does the undoable. The 1024-bit cipher gets cracked in 60 seconds. And then Travolta just shoots her anyway.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, she was DEA."
Yeah.
No thank you.
I mean, this movie does everything in its power to cheapen itself in the third act.
Yes.
Like, just bit by bit, it's just like cheapening. Because, like, the big climactic scene isn't as exciting as the opening scene, which, again, I still think they should have just cut.
Yeah, they wasted it.
Yeah, they really
like.
did.
And if you skip ahead after that and then just start there, it's great, and then splice that scene in when it happens. Like, see, that might have made it like 4% better.
And it should have been good because, like, where we go from here is like they were like, all right, we got the money.
Yeah, Stanley has unfucked them, so they can all load onto the bus. And they had demanded a plane, and they said, we need the plane at the runway at this time. Have it there, like total, movie cliche.
Yeah.
And they
Hollywood cliche.
Yeah, they power off. They get a whole police escort. We think it's like fucking Drive or whatever the fuck that movie was with Keanu Speed. Thank you.
Speed.
And we think it's like they're getting a big police escort. It's like, oh, this is exciting. But and then they just go off track. They just hit a police car and just go off the road. And they're like, what the fuck are they doing?
Well, first they have like a.
And that's the moment I thought of Predator 2 for some. I just.
No, it's fair. No, it's
first they have a little.
I actually really kind of like this sequence a bit, except for
same.
One thing that kills it. One thing that absolutely just wrecks this scene. Because it's not. This is the one thing this movie tries to do that's completely unpredictable, but like legitimately. Because the whole time he's like, oh, Houdini. I'm Houdini. And it's not really. It's just. It's not even misdirection. It's just we didn't like. You wouldn't have guessed this because we didn't establish anything along those lines. Like, and it's just. That's the secret to good. Like, it's like comedy. It's hard to do.
And this is like one of the worst parts of the movie before the bus even takes off, where Vinnie Jones is loading this RPG rocket. Very obviously, the camera lingers really longly into a canister. And then he gives like Hugh Jackman a really weird look, but then delivers like the worst line of the movie, perhaps the worst line he's ever delivered.
Yeah.
To like a stranger, not even like to Hugh Jackman, but it's like some weird homoerotic one-liner, maybe it's a two-liner from Vinnie Jones about sticking the rocket up his ass and how he wished he would shoot him instead. I was just, wow, that is a rotten shark to jump.
Didn't have to be there.
It's not even good enough to get me away from staring out at the middle distance. Because I like don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Like, at this point of the movie, bad. I'm just like
I mean, it was very ham-fisted. But then they do a lot more.
So you get what were you gonna say?
Well, they do a little more moralistic monologuing, and this is the part where he tells him, it reveals more of his plan. He's like, would you kill a child if you knew that you could save millions? And if anybody has watched Last of Us, I mean, I know how I would answer that specific question. And it talks about how you get a discount on getting different nuclear weapons if you buy 6 of them.
I love the way he delivers that line. It's actually really funny because he just like looks like.
Well, again, it's edgelord shit. He's like,
but it's
that's the one
that
time
where it's like, oh, see, I want that character.
I can get
see this character.
Nuclear warheads in Minsk.
Yeah, but that's another moment where I'm like, am I supposed to like this person? Is that what the movie's trying to like? I don't know how the movie wants me to feel about Gabriel.
When he said that the 6 nuke for a discount line, that whole bit there, I actually extrapolated in both directions who this person could be and like them better.
I mean, honestly, if you're watching this movie for the first time, Gabriel's the better character. Gabriel's the main character. He's way more interesting than Stanley. Yeah. Stanley's so two-dimensional. Gabriel at least has a little bit to him that unfolds. It's all
Stanley's
like
really
bad, but
like he's one-dimensional, but like Jackman's doing a lot of variance,
Yeah, I have to disagree that
himself.
I like
he's just better. He wants to be left alone. He wants his daughter back. That's all he's got. I don't really know anything about the guy, like what he's into.
Yeah,
they don't. There's no time to. None of these people have characters. They are plot. There's exposition. Things need to be done. Moving on. And I like. It's. I remember it for being bad at that. and it aged perfectly. It's like it hasn't changed in my mind. Nothing's changed. Like I feel this. I can't believe it. It's really crazy because the movie doesn't change. You do as a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm watching this and I'm just like, fuck.
To be honest,
I gotta like go hiking or something.
I disliked it more in memory, and upon the rewatch, I was like, yeah, okay, I could see why this is fun. I could see why.
I enjoyed it for this, knowing that we were gonna shoot the shit about it, because it's like there's a lot to kind of pick apart here, and it's a film that was made, man. You know, like that's all I can say about it. It was like it is one of the films ever.
This movie, this movie was shot and made, and that's about it. That's all we could say about it.
Yeah, at the catering. I hope it kicked ass for $102 million. I hope these folks got like accommodations and shit. I hope they all got along behind the scenes.
Top-notch craft service. Yeah.
Really.
No, I hope they had a blast making it, because.
So honestly, again, in the behind the scenes, check it out. There's a part where I forget who was talking about it, but Hugh Jackman, before this and before X-Men, the biggest thing he'd done, he'd just come off of doing Oklahoma, the musical.
Right.
And John Travolta has a big background in musical. You know, they were doing songs from Grease on set in between like takes. Like everyone said, it was a real fun time to make this movie. So
that's good.
All right. Yeah, because like I can hope for that. And this is entertaining, but it's also like, from a writing standpoint, it's very educational. Don't do this. Don't do this.
One of these things, not all of them.
Don't. I am a proponent of like watching like stuff that doesn't work, so that you can kind of just see it. People made an attempt. That's noble. You know what I mean? Like, I respect it. I respect that this film was created and made and stuff like that. It's dog shit. And it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you that it could be used as an educational tool. I do not agree with you, Zero, that it was so bad it's funny. Except that one scene.
Oh no, I didn't say funny. I said fun.
It's breezy.
It's fine. Yeah. All right, that's
it's like the summer novel of a blockbuster.
Well, I was thinking it's kind of like it's like a Tom Clancy techno thriller pulp mill plot, like the Rainbow Six era repackaged. Tom Clancy inspired. No less than 10% pure Clancy in this.
And, it's like I forgot. I was a point I was going to try to make last episode about how like, okay, so this was an era where you had stuff like no one knew who the fucking enemies were, because like all through the Cold War is like basically the Russians. Mm-hmm. Occasionally, you'd have some variants. Yeah, it'd be like the Chinese or something like that. Like they were always trying to like red the other. The other was red.
It's 2001. You got through the 90s, and that was supposed to be the end of history.
Shit seemed cool, man. Like we made it through Y2K. Everybody was just like, hey, this might not be so fucking bad, man. Like I'm going out of the country without a passport for like because I'm blacked out on drugs. Like fucking, shit seemed good.
And people really wanted hackers to be villains.
Yeah.
They tried.
The news,
and it was too cool. Like anytime you said something about that, nobody knew what it meant, and everybody was just like, "That's fucking sweet, though."
Sounds
like,
bad.
Just get into that.
Watch out for that.
Some money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It just.
But I can see
it's like the way all these companies are just being like, like, oh, there's all this, like, we have to lock all this stuff up, and we have to blah blah blah, this, that, and the other thing, and we're gonna stop doing this because we're getting like robbed, like CVS and all these things. It's just like it's not happening. There's no evidence of this whatsoever.
And if they are, then they deserve to, because that shows how desperate they are to, like, you're locking a baby formula behind a glass cabinet.
Straw man shrink problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said something a bunch of years ago before the plague when I was working at that smoke shop when those scooters started showing up. Just all these fucking e-scooters all over the goddamn, like, man, big cities with scooters. And I was I was talking to my boss one day. We were just standing there. I'm outside having a cigarette, and there's like 6 of them, like right up against, like from the curb onto the sidewalk.
You're talking about like what are you talking about? The ones with the engines, or just like the push scooter?
The electric ones.
The electric ones, the ones that you got to like. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those. And they're all just standing there, and I'm having my cigarette, and I just turned to her, and I was just like, you know what? When the revolution comes, those are the first things through the windows of the banks.
Right.
They're just giving us all this fucking siege equipment, like just strewn about all over. They got bikes too. They're just litter.
Because that's the thing too. I've said it like throughout this film too, and I should like some of the things that are happening on film, like. Again, like these are things we've covered previously, heist film, like, hacking and whatnot. Like, I should like this.
Yeah,
they're all good ingredients, right?
Yeah.
They're all good ingredients.
But it's just presented in such a weird hapdash way, and there's
it's so Hollywood. It's all the style, none of the substance.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Like,
yeah, and it's kind of the
films that
point.
came out at this time or even after this time that were still like good, like stupid, but like at least enjoyable and competently made. I don't know.
Is like oh man, yeah.
This is the year after Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, but, I mean, this era was like Ronin. This was like
Ronin's so good though.
Heist was a really good heist with Hackman. That was a fantastic movie. Like,
what was the fucking, oh god, Inside Man? Might have
Inside
been a little
Job?
bit after.
May have been a little bit after.
No, Inside Man, the Spike Lee one with Clive Owen. Fucking rules. It's really good.
Yeah. It did this style of storytelling way better.
Yeah.
Way.
No, I mean we've saw. I mean you can go back, like the conversation with Hackman.
Mm.
You know, like that does this like kind of like intrigue, espionage sort of thing. There's stakes. It's not like a guy can buy 6 nukes at a discount. It's more like, oh fuck, who watches The Watchmen for real? This is terrifying.
Yeah, because this is trying to be like, I know, like action movie Michael Bay kind of thing, but I think about like The Bourne Identity that came out a year after this, which
slaps.
Which is like a study in like early 2000 filmmaking that doesn't exist anymore.
Enemy of the State, Hackman and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Oh God, wasn't
this is like
wasn't Enemy of the State? No, or was it Conspiracy Theory where Jean-Luc Picard was the bad guy?
That was Conspiracy Theory, and that was a riot. That was Mel Gibson.
He gets his nose bit off. Yeah, actually, like it really prefigured a lot of Gibson's like later.
Yeah, that's a picture.
The way that
I really enjoy that movie though.
It's a fun
way
one.
that Swordfish plays out, and a lot of techno thrillers from this era. They couldn't quite do like the cyberpunk in real life kind of thing that Mr. Robot did. I can't even think of a single like techno thriller.
I could think of one. And I don't. When did it come out?
I mean, there's not a lot of punk in this. Like,
no, absolutely,
absolutely not.
They could have done that. It might have been a better story to explore that. It might have been a little more Matrix-like.
No, but that's the thing. The Matrix exists. Instead, they have to do like this rich person jacking off of like, this person has so much money. Look how cool he is.
Yeah,
but there's no. It doesn't do any of the cool things, the things that I show up for when I'm into like cyberpunk, when I'm looking at cyberpunk, because there's no questions about reality or the function of society. And
there was another movie that came out 3-4 years before this.
Drugs.
Yeah,
4 years before this. It was another film that it's not great, but it's better than this.
Oh boy,
it's called The Jackal. It had a similar soundtrack where it was a bunch of fucking techno music, and he had this like remote control like sniper rifle that was
Bruce Willis, Jack Black. They know.
Yeah.
So we could actually do a whole prefiguration episode about this, because this exact plot from The Jackal actually happened in real life with a team of Israelis.
Oh shit!
Like an Israeli hit team from Mossad
during an FBI raid on a Moscow nightclub. That really mirrors. Anyway, the brother of Russian gangster Tarek Murad is killed. Murad wants revenge and hires anonymous hitman The Jackal to kill FBI Deputy Director Carter Preston, who's played by Sidney Poitier. With the help of Russian agent Valentina Kozlova, Preston finds the only man who knows what the notorious Jackal looks like.
It's Richard Gere.
Terrorist.
Fucking Richard Gere.
He's an imprisoned IRA terrorist, Declan Mulqueen, by Richard Gere, and he forces him to hunt him down. Yeah,
there's a lot going on there. Also, wasn't the Jackal like a real like terrorist, like from like during
the
like
Jackal
the Project Gladio days?
Was a real terrorist in the 70s and the 80s. This is not his story at all. This is like just some kind of like faceless, kind of like the like an assassin type, kind of like a John Wick kind of world type of assassin dude.
Okay,
and again. The coolest thing about that is there was a real operation in real life that mimics this, where the Israelis used a remote control rifle and an AI program to identify a target and take out an Iranian general.
Echoes of today.
But it had a soundtrack with Fatboy Slim, The Prodigy, Massive Attack, Primal Scream.
It was a pretty great soundtrack.
Bush remix, Ani DeFranco remix, Moby,
like
Doll's Head, Black Grape, Goldie with J Magic, Richard Butler and BT,
Why didn't we do this
Agent Provocateur, the fucking The Charlatans with a Chemical Brothers remix.
What?
Lunatic Calm, Apollo 440 with Raw Power, which is a great song, and Demon's Theme by LTJ Book. It had a great soundtrack. It was
Can we talk about this movie instead?
This movie's it's not great either.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's fine. Like, but it's better than this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like people really hate
even
it,
with
and
Richard
it's like-
Gere in it, it's better than this.
Yeah.
This is more sensational. That one was like, again, a little bit more like real, like a little more
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah.
There was this real more Clancy than Clancy kind of thing trying to go on.
Gotcha.
Yes.
You know, and then there was like they were trying to do the same thing with Cops, which is why we eventually got shows like The Shield and The Wire and stuff, you know, like where, you know, you just get like 40 years of propaganda and fucking
It's really
Don
upsetting.
Knotts with a bullet in his pocket, or whoever the fuck played that role. I can't remember.
It's really upsetting The Wire spawned that, considering how fucking good The Wire is.
Wire ruled.
Where are we on?
We're in the bus and we're heading towards the airport, and we just had a nuclear
Yeah, two of those
missile
hostages are John
monologue.
Travolta's sisters.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I'm
It's
just-
fucking great. I
I'm
love
just-
that.
Okay, so I'm in the bus. I'm wearing the blast vest. I'm like, oh my god, thank God this is going to be over. We're going to go to the fucking airport. And then
This
And then,
fucking
surprise,
Sikorsky
surprise.
shows up.
Again, this is like a D20 modern move where it's just like, oh, we had this planned, awesome, we're gonna do this now, and you roll some dice, and a big
Yeah.
heavy lift crane,
it's an incredible piece of
sky
machinery.
crane, comes
The
over
fucking
and picks you up.
Sikorsky, man. You guys know this thing.
What is Travolta reference in that moment?
He says something about Starlight Express.
Misdirection.
He didn't like the ending of Starlight Express, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
And
Sugarland
I'm not-
Express. The end of
Sugarland, and I'm not
Express.
looking it up. I don't know what it means.
It was a movie
I'm
with
actually
Goldie
really
Hawn.
glad in my ignorance here.
It was a movie with
I'm going to
Goldie
take my
Hawn
headphones off. You can explain it to everybody.
from the 70s,
No, I'm kidding.
where the cops were chasing them across Texas, and in the end, there's a big shootout, and the cops win. I mean, it's not dissimilar from
Is
Butch
it?
Cassidy.
Or like that Indiana wants me, and I can't go back there.
I don't think so.
No
that
comment.
movie where he like that's the song at the end, and he drives toward a barricade of cops, and they shoot the car up.
No. So it's the same sort of thing. So I don't know why you picked this. Oh, because it's Spielberg's first film, I guess. Because again,
Oh, The Duel?
no, after The Duel, it's his first wide release Hollywood film
It
because The Duel was a
wasn't
TV.
Jaws.
No, it was this movie. It's just Sugarland Express.
Oh, Sugarland Express. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Never
that's
saw
why
it.
he.
Yeah.
That's why he mentions it because it's like masturbatory. Because it's Hollywood bullshit.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
I mean,
let's talk about this.
Throw it back
incredible
for a second
helicopter.
before we do that. The whole fucking movie, Swordfish is a password from a fucking Marx Brothers bit from the 20s or 30s. But yeah, it's a password in a Marx Brothers bit. So the whole movie
this is
is a
making me
fucking
tired.
Hollywood
Yeah, it's
bullshit.
upsetting.
I did, see, you know, it's funny. Without even knowing this
Exercise
shit,
and
this thing
self-apprenticeship.
exhausted me the same way Once Upon a Time in Hollywood exhausted me.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was just like, just stop the nasal gaving.
Or
man.
like,
Don't
or like one of
you
these
have anything?
Tarantino movies that's just like, Hollywood up its
Yes,
ass.
later ones
Exactly.
that weren't as good. Yeah, I didn't bother with Once a Time in Hollywood just because of how I heard they did my boy Bruce Lee.
But anyhow, big.
I mean,
big-
it was a dream sequence to be fair, but it was still like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah,
Like
Big-
it wasn't even that. It was just a slow, poorly paced movie. Like
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
didn't care.
So,
a
tell
big
me about-
helicopter, very cool.
This helicopter's incredible.
And then it's a helicopter, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a helicopter. It has
Yeah.
the ability to hover
Yeah, it's a
and
million
go forward
pieces.
and sideways.
Yeah, it's a
And
million pieces
it
trying
can
to
go-
shake themselves apart.
It could go up, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't it just do that the whole time? They're just flying above LA, but no, they got to go between the buildings and give us this great stunt, but stupid. Because
He said the
first they-
crosswind was too strong when they
Oh,
tried to
bullshit.
go up.
it's a fucking big ass Sikorsky, man. Like this thing is a hog.
The coolest
It's
thing
like
about this
built
whole
for
scene,
this
first
shit.
of all, just rewind for a second. So I didn't realize, till doing the research for the movie, that they really did this. They flew across.
yeah,
I
no,
thought it
it's
was, like,
practical as
all
fuck.
CG.
Yeah.
It's very cool that it's all practical.
Yeah, that's why this is like the other impressive scene in the movie.
Yeah.
You know,
This is where the
No
budget
complaints.
went.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they pick up a
100%.
city bus, and they instead of going to the airport away
the
from the
actor
city,
budgets.
they go towards the city, and they fly this bus through the city, and
They hit a sign that breaks
we
one of
got?
the cables.
Oh god!
yeah,
and
it's
another
a really
innocent person.
wild
left.
chase.
Oh,
They-
but I was,
this
you know,
time-
it's funny. After having not seen this movie for 20 fucking years, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, only that one lady died. with the vest.
Mm.
And here they are flying. I wonder, like, what would the range be? Like, would this guy blow up if he fell out? Like, after he reached a certain, like, what would happen? And then it's the dumbest fucking thing in the world, because that's the whole reason Vinnie Jones is here, is to like drag this guy out with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they try to. This is another thing where they're trying to ride the fucking Matrix. They have this explosion next to like a building.
Yeah, an office building, and people
And
having like a meeting.
it doesn't really look good.
It's not.
It's a really bad special
It
effect.
didn't look as good as the first one.
Well, it didn't look as good as the Matrix. Where, like, but the Matrix does that thing where it's like boing, you know, it like fucking lets a pulse wave out before all the glass breaks, which is just, you know, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Stunning and awesome. This is just like a.
Well, this is, I think what you're referring to now is a stunt that happens. I think that actually happened slightly earlier, where the helicopter kind of veers. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but it veers really closely to this building.
Oh, no,
where
it-
and they
the
fall
marketing
out.
team
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
talking about some dumb marketing shit,
It's so dumb,
and then like the tail end kind of swings through.
which I like.
Office
Yeah,
building.
like I like the stunt. You know,
But yeah, it was
isolated.
definitely a shot that was very, very reminiscent of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boardroom shot. Yeah.
And I would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to. I'd like to like think too. The reason, well, one, they can't just copy it shot for shot, but also I think it's because the Wachowskis, like, they've digested media and many things. You know,
Mhm.
they're smart ladies,
And they've discussed it.
and they've just
You know.
they're thinking about how do we do this incredible? How do we do this thing?
Yeah.
And the ripoff, which could, I can't call it a ripoff. You could do a lot of homages. Fuck it, I don't care.
There's tons of them.
if you
No,
do-
I mean,
if
the
you do
Matrix
it well-
changed cinema. A lot of things were,
Yeah,
like,
if you do it well, I don't care.
Equilibrium, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hate that movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's a bad movie I love.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could do things well. You could do a homage well. This
Yeah.
wasn't that. Because,
Mm.
like, maybe they ran out of money, maybe lifting the bus up and...
Well, it's not clear what it was. Was it a celebration of all these things, Hollywood? Was it a
Mockery?
a tribute
No.
to all of, was it a mockery? Which it opens, it sure seems like it.
I have no idea. That's the thing. That's the
No,
problem.
dude, I'm not going to sell you that eighth until you listen to me.
Realism. Yeah.
Realism. Did you ever just like not smoke weed, man?
Nightmare blunt rotation.
Did you ever just like start having really crazy dreams, man? You know, it would have been better if he was like some weird hippie who just like he was like smart Forrest Gump.
Actually, you know what? That would have made Gabriel's character, like, way more fascinating if he was just, like, some weird, smart hippie instead of, like, Chinstrap Man. Like,
Yeah, instead of
it,
knockoff Armitage.
I've changed my fucking personality so many times I don't know who I am.
so
I'm
Vinny-
gonna put on some My Chemical Romance.
Definitely
I like my
has
King,
some
shut
emo vibe coming
That's
off
what
of
he'd
him.
do. It's the
no,
perfect emo
that is a
chick.
man who listens to only, like, new metal. Not, like, good new metal either.
I'm not you, Dad. Bang.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna put on my Trapped CD.
There you go. See, I don't care about that.
There, is that better?
Yeah, that's acceptable. You're not
Dial that in
smoking.
a bit for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your tolerance. Anyway,
So yeah, they're flying through the air.
We learned that Vinny was in this movie to die.
The cable gets
His
snapped.
best scene is literally falling out and getting hit with the fucking.
But
ball
honestly,
bearing
though,
bomb.
after he opened his mouth in the last scene, just that line was so bad. I'm not even going to read it because it was
Yeah, it's
really
upsetting.
bad.
Yeah.
What was it?
That line
Something
where he
about a
started,
suppository.
shoving
Oh,
a
right,
rocket up his ass or whatever. It was just. Somebody thought they were very artful in writing that line. I hope Vinny didn't come up with it himself because it was terrible.
You know, when we were all like 15.
Vinny, if you're listening, that was a joke.
we were all 15.
Nobody
and
thought it was funny. It didn't land.
We'd be over our friend's cool uncle's house playing like horse. We try, you get like one PBR in you, and you start being like, "Yo, dude, I'll stick this whole basketball right up your butthole," and that's what this movie felt like. It was like literally written by like 6 kids, 15-year-olds with one beer, like playing
Yeah.
horse.
No,
Just
that was a
like,
terrible.
trying to outdo each other.
Man,
Terribly
what would
written.
it be like to be a
Yes.
hacker? And one of them is clearly quite closeted.
Yeah.
I'm just always
Yeah.
thankful. My aunt and uncle took me to see The Matrix when, I was a child during that period of time.
Oh my god, I was on
And I'm
acid with my
glad-
brother.
And I'm glad I saw that instead of this, because
Same.
seeing The Matrix when I was like, very young is probably the reason I'm bi. But also, oh god,
it's painful. It's really painful to see the similarities in this scene because I hate to say it, I think they tried.
No, look,
like
I said, this was a film that was.
No, I'm not even just talking about
it was made.
Yeah, the film, yes, but I'm talking about
I mean, it definitely doesn't feel lazy.
No, these moments don't feel lazy at all.
The productions, they did the work.
Yeah.
Like, everybody did the work. Everybody showed up for work.
I would say even the writer did. Like, even the writer did the work. This is just not very well.
I feel like there's not much it would take to make this a good movie without changing too much.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what's frustrating.
Hard work isn't always hard work isn't always good work.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
You know what you would have to do? You would just have to make Neuromancer.
Right.
Well, they're doing.
Fortunately, there's the TV shows coming out, which lets these guys off the hook, and we never have to talk about this again.
So
we only had
we're always talking about
making
fucking
podcast
remaking
episodes
bad
about
movies. If you want to remake
Swordfish,
just make Neuromancer and make it good.
Yeah, just don't remake this movie. How about that?
Basically, like the city bus version of the Stray Light Run here, where they're flying through the skyscrapers, and they do land the bus on top of this one building, and some of the cops did manage to like chase them to the building, and this is where it starts to get real dumber, more dumberist, more dumbster. Because the Gabriel, I forget what they say, but there's a little bit of banter back and forth. The Hugh Jackman's like re-quoting himself in the beginning. You know, the bad guy has to suffer. Like the bad guy has to pay the price.
Bad guy can't win.
Bad guy can't win. That's it from Dog Day Afternoon. And Gabriel ostensibly gets onto the helicopter, and then Stanley remembers, "Oh, I'm trained in small arms. I'm going to get that."
Hold on,
RPG.
Wait. Before that scene. Yes, no, you were correct. We get a very rare, because I haven't been keeping our stand count, and there have been many. We get a rare and elusive stand man at an hour 27 minutes, 52 seconds.
Stand the man.
He says, like, bye, stand man, or something like that.
Yeah, he gives him a thumbs up, too.
I'm sure. Yeah. Good.
Oh, no. He tries to shake his hand.
Yeah,
but that Stan doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So he just walks off.
And then he walks off.
Nah, you're icky.
He's busy remembering the RPG that's back on the bus. He goes back and gets it.
He's like, the suppositories.
This is like the worst idea. He shoots a helicopter out of the air.
Why is there a fucking RPG in
to do this?
Anyway,
do this.
It's literally just there for this.
It's there so that they can shoot this helicopter down in the middle of a crowded city, which is like
maybe this is hindsight, but those aren't that accurate.
No, they're not.
They're not accurate.
Not even that close.
You can't really shoot them at up. That's the thing about it. They're lateral weapons. If you try to shoot them up, you can really burn your feet. They're not easily done. You can modify them, but it's not something.
I have shot down a helicopter in Battlefield before with them.
Oh, right.
It's not something that an untrained person who's just been a hacker, so they could probably do without hurting it.
Absolutely.
And it's not like a seeking rocket; it's just a loose rocket. And again,
it does curve.
He suddenly remembers his small arms training.
I think I remember audibly groaning when it hit the chopper, which also looked as bad as the explosion outside the building with Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Like they were both really terrible.
I think it was a model, but
it was bad. Though.
Anyway,
and they grafted like the explosion onto the thing, so like it didn't.
The helicopter presumably falls to the street below and crushes a dozen cop cars, which
a bunch of people.
Yeah,
probably
and then
trucks.
The feds get to the roof just at that time and tackle Stanley just after he shoots the rocket, and
the one cop takes the rocket launcher and looks at it like it's going to be evidence.
Really weird the way he does that. It's really weird the way he does that.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I'm glad
he's really owning his feature.
Take Stanley away.
Yeah, we get another Stanley because we go to the quote unquote autopsy. Yeah, this is where I think this is going to answer a question you had, Shadow, about like the body.
This is the usual suspects.
No, it doesn't. It really
do a lot of hard cuts.
I love it.
But they pull back the sheet, and you see that it's the body that looks like Gabriel from earlier that was in the wine cellar, which I guess had ostensibly been loaded into.
They just keep the fucking
helicopter
in the fucking wine cellar with a glass window.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I understand now completely. Where the fuck did this body come from?
It came from the wine cellar earlier. Yeah, it makes
No,
perfect
I mean
sense.
before that.
Well, they
Israel-
loaded.
how
loaded
did they
it
get
with a chopper?
the body?
Considering
It was
who they
preloaded onto the
described-
helicopter that was waiting for
Oh,
them.
he was apparently Israeli something.
Yeah, he was Mossad.
right.
He was
He's
an
like
ex-Mossad
Mossad.
agent. So
Yeah.
like, if you're
Right.
curious where that body came from, Israel apparently.
Okay,
So-
so then Gabriel is basically
A fiction.
He just assumed
Pro-Palestine, I
he
guess?
just
I don't know.
assumed he just
Armitage
assumed
is
his
a hollow
identity.
shell, man. Armitage is a hollow shell.
And then
I hate this
So
scene.
he's
I
like,
hate
this
the way this
this is everything I hate.
Yep.
Ever in
Yep.
writing, I hate it. I hate it when it shows up. I hate movies that end like this. There were so many of these things in the fucking 90s. There were these like horror movies that would just have this one twist, and the twist
right
was
at the
always
end.
dog shit.
Yep.
You know, it was like Needful Things is a really good movie until like, oh, it's a demon. You know what I mean? It's like,
like Needful.
oh,
Yeah,
right? No, it works right up until like, it's a demon. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to.
Gotta
be,
rewatch
man.
it.
It could
I do
just
have
be
fun
like a
with it.
dude that disappears and it's scarier. Like it's, this is.
So they go to Monte Carlo.
Well, and then here,
hold on.
Don Cheadle
Let's
is
pretend
back.
like we're drinking whiskey for this because this is.
I finished my beer, bud. I'm sorry.
Don
This
Don
is bad.
Cheadle's
Hold on, we're
back in, this
pretending.
in the film as the FBI agent, but he's acting completely contrary to his character the whole time. Like he's
Yes, suddenly
nice,
they're friends.
and then he's like, "Oh, you can go, dude. Like, go see your daughter." And it's like, what the fuck?
If he had even
multiple people.
If at this point he had led with, look, we know you were coerced into this and that you didn't mean to do any of it.
Yeah.
Then
It would have made a little more sense.
This would have made a little more sense.
They
'Cause
have a
you're
lot-
at least like, let me set this up and serve it.
They haven't been sparing with the exposition so far, so why not give us another fucking line?
Yeah, they didn't really make friends when they were on the phone together before the lady blew up. They weren't just sitting there being like, hey, how are the kids? Like, they're not there yet. Like,
No, they were
but
running
here
out of
we are
budget.
at the end of this, and as an adult who's experienced things, and, you know, I just assumed, I filled in the blank for Cheadle, where it was just like, he's coming in and he's a little like, sorry about all the grief. We didn't, you know, like, we see now, like, you were definitely coerced into all that. Like, there was none of that. I had it in my head because, like, the way he delivers the rest of these lines, if he had said that first, it would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now they're buddies, and he looks at this fucking dead body, and it when I first saw it, I was just like, that's not even close to fucking John Travolta. Like,
It was like a very puffy night
It's fucked
after.
up too, because he was literally in the cafe with him. He's seen this man up close.
Yeah. But then he's just like something about like they haven't found Ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't find Ginger's body. He's like, well, body can't just disappear. Gotta find her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
so out of
So
character for him.
he has this
So
flashback sequence that's so dumb, where they show you
wasn't there-
things that
wasn't
you
there a
couldn't have
line-
seen.
Wasn't there a line earlier too in the film about not something about
Misdirection?
No, it was. I think it was before that. It was probably something that
Several.
Ever hear
that
about
Ginger said.
Houdini, man?
Several lines of misdirection.
Something about not being able to put something together until like the end. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, there's ways of doing that. There's like, again, the good mystery puts all of the elements in front of you, but it tells you a story around it so that like you can't piece it all together. And it's playing fair. You know, it's actually trying to give you a puzzle. And this doesn't do that. It just withholds information.
Yeah.
And not in every instance, but in a couple of key ones where like it still doesn't quite explain how, like, all right, spoiler, Halle Berry makes it. Don't know why. She totally gets shot in the chest, but maybe that is just a fucking Hollywood squib. Maybe this was a Hollywood thing the whole time. Blah, blah. It's dumb.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So you see Hugh Jackman blow up the helicopter, and when like the helicopter blows up, they have this aerial shot of them looking down at him, and you can see the staircase, but you don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They show you in this flashback he goes down the staircase.
You just
like,
see a
fucking
head
Gabriel
going
goes
down the staircase.
And you're
But
just
he
like,
couldn't see it because the helicopter was in front of the staircase, so he wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. But the
Right.
camera saw it, although he's remembering it.
which means that like you back this up, you walk this back. All of this was Gabriel's plan the whole time, including like parking
God,
the
that's so
helicopter there,
That's
and then
so
putting it's just like this Rube
Dun,
Goldberg
dun,
machine, but it doesn't quite
dun.
work.
No. I guess that helicopter pilot's dead.
I guess. Yeah.
And the rest of the gang that went
Part
up
of the
in the
plan.
helicopter. Part of the plan. You get rid of the whole gang, dude. You keep the
Right.
money. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, because that's how it ends up. Because we have this scene where
We're just
out
gonna
that-
leave this dead body on this helicopter. Don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah.
Don't freak out.
You're totally safe. You're getting paid
Yeah.
well.
Hey, wait, there's something in here.
Yeah, it's really looking pretty good for a fucking helicopter that gets RPG'd out of like 500 feet. It's. But anyway, yeah, happy ending.
He gets his daughter back.
He gets his daughter back. He apparently isn't really big on spending $10 million because he just gets like kind of like a pickup truck and a trailer to
Pickup
travel
truck and an
the country with,
Airstream, baby. I mean, that's a
which
good
is pretty
100K
sweet.
right there.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. He'll be good for a while.
Yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
And she's all like, "Let's go to the petrified forest," and I'm like, "Yeah," because I fucking feel like a tree. I just fucking want to be petrified and just fucking make me a national martyr.
And we get to the ending.
Well, hold on 1 second, because there's an alternate ending that stopped here, where you see that Stanley has the 10 billion and he donates it all to various different charities before he hops into a really, really nice mobile home with his daughter and drives away. And that's like an alternate ending, but it didn't test as well as the real ending, which it opens in Monte Carlo.
Mm.
I mean, notes here.
Halle Berry goes into a bank and says,
Stop taking notes at this point.
Yeah. Oh wow, you're a better man than me.
Sorry. Gabriel looking like NSYNC's manager.
I know. All it says on my notes is frosted tips. Like,
Yes. NSYNC.
Oh, he looked 480p
So many
dog.
frosted
He just
tips
looked like
in this
he
movie.
just looked like oh wow, this guy could be a silver fox. And he turns around, his face is a little too fat for it.
Yeah, he looks.
He looks really jowly.
It looks like
Without
if I tried to do that. Like
with the crazy,
it's really upsetting.
Raven haircut.
And again, Halle Berry in like 25 seconds transfers the GDP of a small nation at a bank in Monte Carlo. Like you can't. You can't
well, like you do.
And then it closes on like a news report of Sheikh bin Hazard El Rahman.
Well, they're taking off in a fucking
Never-
boat, and the camera's chasing them in this like speedboat, motorboat thing.
Yeah, we get news.
And then
that-
there's a big yacht out there, and the news comes up that like this terrorist died in an explosion day on a bus, and it does the same thing it did at the beginning of the movie, where it tells you the thing, and then it does the thing.
Yeah, then the yacht
And it's just like-
explodes because terrorists hang out on yachts, I guess.
and then we get the glitchiness, and then we get actually, admittedly, a pretty decent song with Okafor.
And then the bad guys, we get an unsatisfactory ending. The bad guys won.
That doesn't even bother me.
Begins.
That doesn't even bother me.
Yeah.
It doesn't even bother me.
I mean,
Because,
zoom
like-
out on this. Like, what's the reality of this? Like, everyone's going to know it's America. Like, it's
Yeah,
not.
like, who does
it's
he work
supposed
for?
to be clandestine.
Yeah,
He works for
he's not
himself
working
at
for
this
anybody.
point.
Yeah,
Well,
He
no,
is
yeah,
Black
that's the
Cell.
thing.
he's Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
He's literally like what if like some Q-pilled fuck billionaire was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I'm worried. If this comes back into circulation, somebody really dumb with a lot of money is going to get ideas.
Musk, don't show this to Musk.
General
I know you
Flynn,
listen to the podcast.
you know?
Don't,
Dude,
fucking
he'll
do that.
make this his whole personality for sure.
I'm not convinced that General Flynn hasn't seen this movie the way he talks.
Okay, so the final stand count.
There's some Alex Jones here and there.
There's a
too.
lot of Alex Jones in this film.
God.
I'm sure he's a big fan of this movie. So the final stand count. Stan is 25. Stanley is 22. And Stanman is 1.
I wish I could play that
Only
Eminem
one
song in the
Stan.
background while you did that.
I just can't get over how many times it's not even funny. It's if it was meant to be a joke, I don't get it. It's like,
Stanley, Stan.
The
You
most
know,
cyberpunk thing about this film is that it is just completely detached from reality. I mean,
Yeah, Stanley is admittedly a little cyberpunk. The other thing, though, that it was just kind of like a big eye roll. Okay, so his daughter's supposed to be what, 8, maybe 11. Is she really reading Neuromancer? Like, come on.
yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
why not? Maybe she's cool. I don't know. That
She's
was
got a cell phone, dog. She's got a cell
sure.
phone.
Yeah, she got a
but-
cell phone. She got cool glasses. I liked her. She was
she
probably my
knows
favorite.
the future is
She was smarter than her dad. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Like,
oh, for sure.
Jesus fucking Christ.
just do a sequel of his daughter taking down Gabriel. Like, I don't know.
That'd be
Kill
that'd be
Bill
so good,
style.
though. Actually,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
great. Give that to Darren Aronofsky. Be like, listen, you got to do one for the studio real quick, dog. You got to take this hit. You can do this, man. He'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sure, why not? Like, because now we have this rogue terror. Like it's not even a satisfactory ending. The bad guys really did win, and they're monsters.
It's look.
Well, then that brings it back to what
would make this great?
One at a time.
Make it Destro. Make this Destro origin story or something.
They're patriots, man. They're patriots.
Yeah. For the highest bidder.
It goes back to what you were saying, Scum, about how you don't really know how you're supposed to feel about the characters.
I don't know who I'm supposed to like. I don't know. Am I supposed to like Gabriel? Am I like? Obviously I'm supposed to sympathize with Stan.
In that, it is a little cyberpunky, but unfortunately, they expect you to sympathize with like a fascist, like a fasci terrorist, like a fascist.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Fascist.
Terrorist. Do what I think is right, so I'm going to nuke your city.
Yeah,
it's
so what the fuck, dude.
He says like the monologue is something like, "Who will attack America when they know what we're willing to do to them?" It's just really. I hear that making sense to a lot of podcasters I don't listen to, no matter how many times I get my feed.
Oh man, what a dog shit movie!
I'm sorry. Because I'm the one who suggested we watch this as a kind of like as a joke of it's a bad movie. Let's do an episode on a bad movie, guys.
I seconded it
do that.
Just to point out how it's like, Neuromancer cribbed badly, and then let's change the ending real quick. Oh, and there was another alternate ending before this got to production where they actually just get to the airport and have a big shootout, and it's just really typical and boring. So at least they did something a little more interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
slightly, but like I said, I mean, it is just infinitely inferior to Neuromancer because it's not interesting.
No,
nothing about it is interesting.
The world building is
no substance.
If it had been a science fiction movie, I could have forgiven a lot more of it.
Yeah.
But it
or
was
if
just...
it had something to say about maybe like class politics, the way that Neuromancer did, or how we perceive reality, which Neuromancer did.
Like, I don't have kids. What would be my motivation? That's what I'm thinking. Like, if he didn't have a kid, what would be his motivation?
I would have been more invested in Stanley if he was an amphetamine addict, like Case with.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was a clean living guy on a oil fire.
He just drinks a Heineken every once in a while.
He reminded me
I feel like they were almost trying to
start talking about chi.
I think they were almost trying to like jumpstart their own little mini universe, like a Born Identity kind of universe, Mission Impossible kind of
universe.
Would have been Bond or Mission Impossible.
It's clear that profit was the underlying motivator here.
Well, they keep talking about like framing it like it's some criminal underworld of mercenaries and hackers that just doesn't really make a lot of because they're making it. It doesn't exist. Supposedly they're making it. So how does this?
And there's not even any hint to like.
Well, fast forward 20 years, we got the Wickiverse.
Yeah,
doing everything this does far better.
Yeah.
That's very true.
It's just Wick's more interesting. It's played
by an
infinitely better actor.
Yeah.
It looks better because it's not trying to rip off too many things, and even if it does,
and you know what? When people,
there's been a direct line.
When people fall down declining surfaces in that franchise, I'm much more entertained.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but this one it entertained the fuck out of me.
I'm gonna try to see if I can make see if there's a GIF of that. Like,
please. That would literally make my day.
If someone could make us a GIF of these idiots jumping down the hill, like the entire bit, just over and over again, or just a video loop of that.
We will make that into a custom emoji.
Oh my god!
I will DJ with that projected on me.
Please,
Jesus Christ!
Look, I've been having a hard time. Like, if you guys did that, my birthday's next month. I'm just letting you know. Like, that would make me incredibly happy.
I think it's because it's so Midland. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it really what I could say positively about it is it does a lot of the work.
There's a lot of good performances.
Yeah, they're just not complicated. They're dangerous looking. Even if they're dumb.
performing great writing or
But-
great storytelling, but it's good performance.
I only remember it because at that time, shortly thereafter, I worked at a video store, and even like 5 years later, there was still maybe a good 2 feet of the used DVD shelf that were just these DVDs for like 99 cents. Like they were everywhere.
It was a huge release. It was a huge, and a lot of it, unfortunately, was because of Halle Berry's build as being like naked. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
So
That literally was too. It's not
It's a
even
different
a joke.
time.
Like it was.
Unfortunately.
Whenever,
Different time,
well,
yeah.
whenever you see a movie that says, from the producers of a much more popular movie, oof,
from the people
Well,
who brought you,
and from the people who brought you, but like in this instance, it was more like it should have worked on the star. The casting alone should have like been, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to know anything about the movie. And then they were like, oh, titties, and everybody was just like, blah. And then the movie sucked. Like people.
It is pretty pathetic, honestly.
Look, a global pull of 140 isn't on $100 million budget is not great.
No, that's pretty bleak.
Because they're probably not even talking about marketing.
well, I mean, the producer here is Joel Silver. If you know anything, of Hollywood, it's 48 Hours, Xanadu, Predator, Die Hard, Roadhouse. Some of the big ones. Predator 2.
One of my favorite
Demolition
films.
Man.
Another one.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's done so much shit.
Yeah. No, it's not like this wasn't.
The pedigree is fine.
Hey, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's not like the pedigree has nothing to do with it.
It's like I love Robert Altman so much. I think MASH is still one of the best movies I've ever seen. As a fan of the TV show, I didn't see the movie until years later, and I think it's brilliant. I've watched it tons of times. Popeye sucks, and I love Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Loves this space. That sucks. It's a bad movie that is hard to watch.
You can't knock it
There are
out
a
of
lot
the
of
park.
things that need to come together for film production to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good example of trying to have all the parts of something that should be incredible.
You have access to the resources to do almost anything you want to do.
Yeah, imagine if somebody told you, I'm like, okay, you have near unlimited. And at that time, that was a lot. How much did you say? Like 200 million, like some stupid number. Like that's a lot of money.
Now, it'd be
24 years
Yeah,
old.
that's an
234
insane
mil.
amount of money. Where it's like, okay, you have like a stupid amount of money.
That's like more than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, like you have these incredible actors. You have all of these things, and it goes to show how important writing. I feel like this is the film they want to make with like AI writers in Hollywood. Like,
Jesus Christ, this feels like a fucking AI movie.
yeah, like I feel this is kind of the thing where they're like, yeah, this passes, whatever. Like I don't give a fuck.
Written by like an extra credit to Grok.
Yeah, like that's what this kind of reminds me of like how important writing is and editing and unfortunately someone did try, I imagine, to put this all together.
No, obviously it was. It had a huge release. In fact, here's the funny thing: it got yanked from theaters in England on November 12th.
Wow.
It was in like 300 theaters or something. And
Is that how upset it made everyone?
People were just like, "Ooh, it blows up a fucking building in LA. Let's get this off the air." Well, I mean, that was it. Like, see, that's when the world changed in a lot of ways in terms of like information.
Gotcha.
Because like the radio stations stopped playing like certain types of music, like all the fucking shit everybody's already been paranoid about has already happened. As far as like the government intelligence takeover, fucking psyop shit, everything turned into like propaganda after that. Everything turned into like, the heroes. And I think Stanhope is a really good bit about how like firemen getting laid versus soldiers and shit. Like it's really funny. It was just it was really, really a fucked up time. They yanked. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest Tim Allen fan, but Big Trouble was great. And that never saw a release. It went straight to DVD because it involves like a plane with a bomb on it. Yeah. And it was just all the stuff got like suppressed instantly.
I'm sure there have been studies on this, but I think it would be interesting. I'm not saying that we're going to do this as an episode because
and then fast forward and fucking Robert Pattinson's like does a whole goddamn romantic movie that ends with him being on the floor at the window when the first plane hits the first building.
Yeah, that's...
I can't remember the name of that shit because I'll never watch it. But like, it was still like when I heard about that, I was just like, listen, is this what we're doing? Are we at that stage? Can I start making jokes about it? Like, what the fuck?
Sure, why not? I mean, I'm glad that we're able to look at it now, after so much time has passed, as such a moment where reality has shifted and our future has basically been decided. Like, everything's different now. Like,
well, all right. Suddenly, I've changed my opinion. This is a very important film for you to watch because it'll give you a sign of like the headspace.
This movie feels like cocaine made it. And I'm not sure.
I was gonna say.
I'm not sure cocaine was involved. I think this movie is so... feels like like a friend being like, "Yo, man, yeah, no, I did tons of cocaine. He never did cocaine." Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I feel drugs had unfortunately nothing in the making of this film because we've seen plenty of movies where clearly there were.
I've touched a boob before. It feels like a sandbag.
maybe
that's what this feels like.
Maybe it's too many different editors along the way, or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's definitely a portrayal of American excess and the way that the things we would do.
The reason why they hate our freedom.
American excess.
What you're saying?
Yeah.
It's a celebration of we're all out of ideas.
Yes.
Yes.
An actual celebration.
Yes.
That's actually
a good way to put it.
Kind of right on the nose there.
Yep.
Cut, print, holy shit.
All right, I'm closing the notebook. We're done with this dog. Fuck, I hate this fucking movie.
I can't believe you did it, guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Hell of a time.
I did not think it was going to take this long.
I had a feeling in the back of my mind, but it's kind of like I'm going to ignore that because that thought fills me with dread and horror.
Well, I don't like to pre-plan too much of this. You know, like I like to have the narrative set up, you know, whoever's taking lead and stuff. But like, boy, man, this was it was weird though. It was an easy watch.
Dude,
because it let me dissociate for 40 of the 140 minutes. I had crazy thoughts, man.
Again, it was really wild to me looking back on it. I hadn't realized how close to 9/11 it was because I probably saw it in the theater and then probably didn't watch it again for a year or two. And there's so much going on at that point.
I was a completely different human being.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I didn't have the same. I have different anxieties. I have new anxieties after like 4 or 5 months later. You know what I mean? Like, it was just.
This movie is a peek into the end of history.
Yeah.
I mean, this is close. You know, like, this is really close before like. This is a safer look at the mindset of 2000, like early 2001 optimism.
Yeah.
Because like this is that things are going too well. Let's make a cynical prick of a fucking character, and they didn't know what they were doing. You know, like they didn't quite nail it. You know,
they didn't know people like that exist in real life.
Yeah. And no one believed it because nobody really thought that.
No,
that's the other thing. Like we're
really
never gonna get attacked. Are you shitting me?
I'm really convinced that this was written by a closeted gay man. Like,
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, though, man. I can see those the hijackers just sitting in the theater and watching this, just being like, "All right, man, let's just fucking do it."
Oh God.
Okay, maybe the bus chopper thing's too complicated. Let's just take flight lessons. You know, like
God,
Jesus.
Did anybody else feel as empty as I did?
I don't know. I liked it. I laughed. Like I said, it's a fun movie to me. I love. It's like, all right, he pulled it off, you know.
Zero. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I tried to do that.
Your Goku Midnight Eye.
This would be like me reading Neuromancer again because it's been about as long, and I didn't remember a lot of this movie. And when I watched it the first time, there were just a bunch of times where I would like.
Yeah, me neither.
The thing that would pull me out of the middle distance was like, did you really fucking say that? And then the second time I watched it, it was just like, all right, fine. You know, like, I see what this is.
Yeah, because time erased my memory of this film, and that's why I recommended it, because the only vision I had was the gun. Because I remember, like, when they would have it on TV, somehow they played this on TV, where they had, like, advertisements for it, and it would be, like, the gun to his head, and he's hacking. Of course, they gloss over the fact he's also being sexually assaulted while doing that.
Mm.
And that was my only thought while I recommended this film. But then I watch it, and I'm like, wow, that was way more fucked up than I remember it.
Yeah,
that was hard.
It wasn't fun or cool. Like, it was, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, at the time, it was kind of like, all right, they're doing that too. All right, they're putting that on top of it. It's like a hat on the hat on the hat.
It's me, 8 years old, trying to convince the other kids in the bus that those humps in front of the bank are actually dinosaurs that are hibernating, and convincing them. And then, like, you got to let that lie go until people keep looking at you like, "Are you still talking about that?"
Yeah,
that's what this movie felt like.
God,
you're still trying to convince people of that, and you're like 18.
No, they flattened that whole area and made a different thing.
Oh, okay.
It sucks now.
How are we closing this out, guys?
I don't even know. Yeah. Wrap her up. I don't know. Like, I can't anymore. I've had enough caffeine.
I gotta point out, Zero. Why did you type that? You could have just said it.
Just say it. Wrap her up.
I want my Virginia show.
Here's your sign. Bill Engvall, look.
The madness has crept in.
It's I'm referencing the Redneck Comedy Tour now.
It's like past midnight.
Yeah. Who's the one? Ron White. He's a great storyteller. I will say that.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's fantastic.
Capture an audience. But yeah, that's Swordfish in all its glory. I don't know. Check it out. I thought it was fun. It's definitely worth I don't know.
It's a
movie. It's a movie.
One of the films ever, and it was.
We can say that much.
No, it's actually. I'll tell you what. The biggest thing that you could probably get from it, whether you enjoy it or not, is it is a cultural touchdown for that era.
It is a snapshot of 2001.
Yeah,
at least what
the
people
first
would
half
think of 2001.
The first half of 2001. Like, we are now settled. It's in June. This film has come out midway through the year. All right, we got through Y2K, a bunch of other shit. Nothing really that serious. It was all kind of like, woo, the rapture's going to happen during the eclipse shit. It wasn't that crazy. And then, a few months later, it was just cue up Don Henley, The End of the Innocents. Like, fucking,
yeah.
9/11, man. Yeah. Never remember to forget. Okay. Never remember to forget.
Oh, wait. Who's
never forget to remember to.
No. Never remember to forget.
I don't. What do you mean?
Never remember to forget. Yeah.
That's what we're at.
So for all you stands out there, you can find us at Neon Dystopia. We have we got to wrap it up. We have a Discord. You could all hang out with us there. We have Patreon.com. Patreon.com/Neon
If you enjoy our mad ramblings, throw us a buck or two.
Yeah, we're publishing fiction now, so your money helps fund that and get
right.
And this is all you now. You fund this operation. It helps immensely.
It's so nice. Yeah, once we get the Patreon up too, we'll be able to release more stories more frequently.
Yes,
so, as it stands, 1 every 2 weeks, and we're still going to be putting episodes of this out in between it all when we can, scheduling being whatever.
Yeah.
And
we're trying.
And the telephone episodes in the works.
Yeah, telephone episodes. I swear to God, I'm not. This isn't a joke.
You get what you pay for.
I fucked myself, and you guys are going to benefit. So it's going to be stupid long. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to say that now. Like it's, and don't expect it next either. Like,
don't tell them that.
I am. I'm going to be completely transparent and honest. If you get this fucking thing by June, just understand that, like, I will have lost a limb probably in the course of like preparing this episode. Trust me. I've had children's book. I have a book on a fucking copyright. Shit.
We didn't ask him to do this. This was supposed to be a group effort.
Don't put me in the fucking Library of Congress. That's why did you let me go? No one could stop me. I was fucking. I thought it was going to be tougher. They were like, "Hey, you got to check your backpack." I was like, "Okay," and I walked in with a notebook and got my card, and I was done. Like, I did it on my phone and then in front of them, and then somebody printed out like a plastic card with my face on it. Fucking like 10 minutes later, you're screwed, people. It's going to be so much. It's going to be so long. I'm sorry.
When I went there,
a lot of reading, bud.
I was wearing my tinfoil tricorn and my 1776 shirt, and it took a little longer.
Nah, the trick is to look boring. Jeans, flannel t-shirt.
That's it. Done.
Being called Stan helps.
Yeah. Wear a baseball cap.
Right.
Just
You don't want to wear
smile and be friendly. And they're no. Here's the best.
You don't want to.
I gotta tell you this. So I'm filling out the application, and I'm doing it on my phone because they give you. They have a bunch of QR codes, and you pick the one you need for the thing you need to do. And I'm filling this thing out, and like down at the bottom, they're like, "Is this for like what was it, like personal or like commercial reasons? Like, are you coming in here for like or whatever?" I can't remember. I was like, "Can I like put in podcaster?" And the lady, she was just cool as shit. She was like, "I don't give a shit what you put." And I was like, "Really?"
That alone would just make me salute.
Stunt man. Like what? What do you want? Like I tried to think of something like weirder, and I was like, I'll go with podcaster. It's weird enough to be getting your fucking reader's card at the Library of Goddamn Congress with that on it. It's somehow doesn't diminish the Library of Congress so much as it elevates podcaster.
Decline commentator.
Talking.
Read out did the outro.
Yeah, I need to stop.
All right, let's go to bed.
Right.